Okay, people. I guess you can see how the world's going right now as far as anger. More people are angry than not. Got trouble with the volume, trouble with everything. What's going on here? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think I cleared the problem. Sorry for the interruption. Sorry for what's going down. I got people screaming next door. I got people screaming in my house. You know, the energy level of the planet right now is below normal at every level. People dealing with horrible things, life situations, money situations. On top of all that, we got a president that has to go play golf every week. And to top that off, we got to pay $26 million to let him play golf. He's trying to save taxes. If he didn't play golf, look at how much money we would have saved in the past 3 months. Imagine that. He's worrying about poor people, middle class people, and everybody else, making them pay the millionaire taxes. How about let's take some of the money the rich people are spending and pay bills? The ones that have it to waste and can do whatever they want. Not the people that are starving, trying to get food, trying to eat. Well, I was on a picket line protest 2 days ago. We had a couple thousand people online in the main street in Hawaii. It was incredible. No violence of any kind. It was a good protest. We're going to have another one on the 6th, and they want 3 times more people to come with their families and everybody else. Remember that. Hawaii in Hilo. It'll be all morning into the late afternoon. So what I want to say is, we don't have much time to stop the world from crashing. It will not just be the United States, people. If you watch in other countries, you will see what's going on there already. And it's not good. Look at the stock market crash. Look what's happening. People are angry. Canada is forming and getting other countries to agree with them and work with them so they could eliminate the United States. Canada was our friends. Canada was Musk's friend. When he ran away from his country so he didn't have to go to war, he went to Canada. And they took him in. And now he's letting our friendship with Canada be destroyed. You know, people, Musk has a disease. I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but it's Asperger's. Check it out. Check what it means. Check who and what he really is. All right? And what it does to a person. and he's the richest person on the planet playing any game he wants. He also lost more money than anybody else in history. But people, when people get pulled into our government that we don't pick and people that are there that we don't want, there was a time called the Patriotic Bill, and it was created by Jefferson. It was allowed for people to go against the government when they feel the government wasn't doing what they wanted them to do. So then what happens? All right, 9/11 happened. The day after, Bush came out and said, "You're either for us or you're a terrorist." He renamed the 450 groups as terrorist groups, including Greenpeace. All right, and now it stands like the Patriotic Bill is for the government to intervene, but it's not. It's for the people to intervene. And we should have the power. You think in all the time since the Constitution was stolen and created by the white man, it would have been changed to fit all people. We are not all one race in the United States. We never have been. We were native until the white man came in and destroyed that. We allowed allowed the white man in, I guess it was Britain, England, and Italy, that killed 50 million native people, and it was okay. Now people that think guns is a great thing, why Trump supports it. Well, you know what guns were used for? Killing. And usually killing what? People. And what people at that time frame? Native people. They were given money for every native person that was killed. For real. His show will probably be taken down. So send it to anybody you can, as fast as you can before it does get taken down. Now, they were offered money for men, women, and children's scalp. It was the white man that scalped the native people because that was how they proved they killed a native person. And they got money then. So guns were there for a reason. Then later on, when the cowboy days came, everybody was shooting everybody, and they tried to stop that. I don't know, lasted about 7 years. 70. But now people think guns are the right thing to have. Guns only mean killing. And believe it or not, about 85% of people that commit suicide use a gun, which is pretty scary. If they didn't have it, they'd probably be in the hospital alive. People, we're in a situation where people have zero rights. Invasion into your house, invasion into your accounts, invasion into your public domain. Your cell phone's completely tapped, right? Your TV's even being tapped. Your water meter's being tapped. They can watch everything you do, breathe, and act. How much water you use, how much electricity you use. They keep an eye on people. They know what you're doing at every level. So if they want you, they can come get you. You got to try to stay within their rules and regulations if you don't want to worry about that. But Trump has no morals. He has no God. All the pictures of him with angels in back of him on his knees, and all those kind of things. He does not know the Lord's Prayer, never mind even what it means. Put him on TV. Tell him to describe what the Lord's Prayer is and what it and religion back. Religion is what caused all wars in history. And people, here's things you should know. This is the truth. I could die tomorrow. I put the truth out when I can, as long as I can. There's a word called FEMA camps. They're all over the United States. They're real. They're not ideas. Jesse Ventura exposed them when he was on TV years ago. He exposed more things publicly than any other person for real. He sent his son and his crew out there to prove and find out what was really going on, including the underground cities in the United States. The weapon called the HARP system. He went to the White House himself. He spent 2 years on TV every week showing a show out the HARP system, chemtrails, you name it. But they took him off going into his third year, and then they removed half of his stuff offline. But he exposed the truth, Truth, not man's ideas or I think or could be maybes. He went into that. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. I don't believe it. Let's prove it. Well, you should do the same thing to yourself. What is the Constitution? Read it. It was written by white rich fools. Right? You had to be rich to vote. You had to own a farm. All right. Women were never allowed to vote until 1920, along with the black people. Now, Mr. Biden, I'm not saying he was a great president. He did stuff. He did a lot of stuff that wasn't publicized. He helped the Native people greatly. Before he left, a month before he left office, he put a video up on what the white man has did to the Native people. And it wasn't even put on TV. It wasn't taken down most places. I still have a link up. I keep putting it up when I can. He explains how the white man put children in prisons until like 1925. It was the children were still in prison camps, Native children. All right. To follow through, they killed 50 million Native people. About less than 1 million were left on this planet. So the Native people that are alive are crossbreeding, sorry to say the word, with other tribal people. But the true original Native people is less than 1 million. And a lot of them are dying because they're old. But the last thing Mr. Biden did, Lenin Peltier was freed from jail. Now, if you look at the picture on the cover of this show, that was when I marched on the UN in New York City. I'm there with dates and names, but I think it was around 2000. Clinton was president. Basically, there was 2,000 of us, 150 Native people, and a lot of other people who joined our march. We marched from downtown Village to the Pentagon. The police were blocked off. Everything was done legally. We had to get a permit, which we did. We were not allowed to carry anything other than cardboard and paper. We weren't allowed to carry sticks. We weren't allowed to carry backpacks or anything else, people. And we marched safely all the way up to the UN, Pentagon, sorry. And when we got there, we were in the lot that's right there. We were surrounded. We were surrounded by FEMA, government people, and police. Every one of them had a rifle, gun, and machine guns. It was scary because I really thought we were all going to get wasted. It would have just taken one incident. I don't know if you know the true story of Wounded Knee 2 or Wounded Knee 1. Wounded Knee 1 was a long time ago. Wounded Knee 2 was our government. All right. So what happened, we had people from other countries, from unions from around the world there. And they were all talking about how bad our government in the United States is then. But I expected something to happen. Luckily, nothing didn't. We had all of Lenin Peltier's family there. 47 years in jail. I'm going to explain that to you people. Native people have private land where the government cannot go on. So what happens? 2 FBI agents were chasing 2 Native people onto the reservation, on their property, and shot them, killing 2 FBI agents. So FEMA broke into the reservation, arrested a couple people, but the main person they arrested was Lenin Peltier. He was head of Native American movement. That's why they arrested him. The gun that hit those FBI agents was not his. But he was put in jail, no trial, and sentenced for 2 life sentences. I wrote, there was after we marched on the UN, keep saying UN, the Pentagon. The next day, the FEMA group of people, many of them, marched on the White House and said, if you let Leonard Peltier go, we will all resign. They should have let him resign because they put a Native American who did not do anything, who was very important for the Native people, in jail. But after that, we never heard from him. But I danced the powwows for many, many years, and we danced at the end of the powwow. We danced for Leonard Peltier every year. So it was 47 years he was in jail. And I wrote, but guess what? I wrote Biden about 10 times, about the month before he left office. I said, Trump let all these prisoners out. You can let him. He let a lot of people out. But I said, let Leonard Peltier out. And he did. The only thing is, he has ankle bracelets on in his house. That's not free. He's 47. He almost died so many times in jail, or in a book in jail, and he's still a prisoner in his own house for a crime he did not do. You think anybody cares? News doesn't cover anything important. But there's a channel called Vice, V-I-C-E. It's a cable channel. If you care about really important truth, watch it. They're the only channel that show everything, good, bad, or indifferent. They don't cut things out. They'll show you criminals. They'll show you everything under the sun, including what happened to the Native people. Now, in case you don't remember, when Trump was president, there was a boycott against the pipeline. And on the news, they showed it maybe twice. They said, oh, there's 50 people out here boycotting the pipeline. There was thousands of people there, day and night for months. The government was allowing helicopters to fly over them in the middle of the night, real close to them, so that they couldn't sleep. They were hosing them down with hoses. They had wild dogs chasing them all the time. And this went on and on and on. Trump didn't care, didn't stop it. But right before Trump left office, this is what he said. I'm trying to pass a bill that will put anybody that fights the pipeline in jail for 25 years. I don't know if it ever went through or not. I mean, I'm not fighting the pipeline right now, but I don't know if that was initiated or not. But I'm sure he'll make sure that it's in play because he wants to mine everything from the United States, which means they will go to the reservations mining oil. All right. Considering they already said that the land up where the Native nations have probably enough oil to supply the world for the next 150 years. So guess what? Now, another thing about Native people, their land is taken over every 5 years. And they destroy it, and then they have to give it back to them after the 5 years after they destroy the land. But they take the land that's even usable for farming or whatever they can, growing plants, and not marijuana, things, but food, is taken away. People, if you learn about the real history, you might be a little more concerned about what's happening to the planet, what's happening to everything else. Now, I guess I'm Democrat, but all they do is ask for money. But what do they do with the money? What happens? You still got Mr. Rumbo in, and how did he get in, people? Musk was allowed to give people millions of dollars to vote for Trump, which is illegal. How does anybody know, and this is very important, people, that Musk didn't bribe the people that counted the votes? I tell everybody they should be checking on all the people that were involved with counting the votes and their family, checking their bank accounts. Because if they were given that money, they had to put it somewhere. Even if they had to get it out as cash, whatever. There had to be a trail, a paper trail of it somewhere. See if any of these people end up with millions of dollars. If he gave $1 million to a person walking the street to vote for Trump, what do you think he would pay the people that counted the votes that put Trump in office? All right. Now, not saying these people that voted for Trump are good, because guns are evil, people. They eliminated the guns around the world. Guess what? Crime would have to drop. But again, that's not going to happen. Now, if you ask a lot of people, what do they want a gun for? In case the government comes marching in my house. which is the most ignorant thing. Because if the government's coming to get you, they're going to come with a SWAT team. No matter what kind of gun you have, you're not going to be able to survive. So you're going to go down killing somebody? I guess you don't know what the word spiritual means. Like Trump doesn't know, Putin doesn't know. These people have no clue about God or a real God. Forgiveness. If you claim to be a Christian, which there are 2.5 billion Christians in the world that have never read Revelations. John says what sins can't be forgiven. It's not like, oh, I did this, I could ask for forgiveness, and Catholic Church, oh, come in Friday and ask for forgiveness, do 1,000 Hail Marys, and it's forgotten. No, it doesn't work like that. Man created the whole system. Jesus didn't get to come here to create a religion. He was teaching a truth about a God, which the Romans sure didn't agree because they had multiple gods. People do not even know what a God is today. Oh, it's a man that sits up there and watches us and protects us. The ignorance that was programmed in the human race is pathetic. Now, we got Muslims, which is 2.3 billion people on the planet. Right? Between two religions, it's a big, over 50% of the planet in a religion that deals with a God that they have no clue what a real God is. Anybody that believes God said, well, go kill them, okay, is pretty pathetic. Killing is called, to my thing, I would call it black magic. I was a high priest when I was 16. You could say bad, whatever. There's a black magician and a white magician. I was a white magician, even though I watched the bad things happen. When you create murder, death, it's called black magic. When you save life and protect life, it's called white magic. Moses was the highest black magician on the planet. Sorry to inform you the truth. But who came along after that? When Jesus came, why did they kill him? Because he was a good person. Good people weren't allowed to live. I spent years searching out every religious, so-called spiritual person I could. Most of them were killed. Even Gandhi was killed by his own people. Jesus was killed by mostly his own people. People are afraid of the truth, especially when it goes against the programs that they got from their parents. How many parents today know anything about spiritual protection? Any truth about how they got here? Where they actually came from? Why are they here? What happens when you die, really? What is an angel? What is a deity? What is Satan? And please don't put Lucifer in the same place. Lucifer is a fallen angel, not a fallen demon. And he's high yet. He's not on the bottom scale where most angels are right now. All right? He was a bringer of light. And if you don't know what the light is, I feel sorry for you. I work with a medicine man who actually said, don't go into the light, because when you go into the light, they take your soul. Native people have their own truth. Tribal people have their own truth. All religions have their own truth. There's 2,000 religions on the planet. And I'm going to tell you straight out, less, maybe 3, have any idea of what a God is. The vaguest idea of the truth about a real God. When science, which is the most evil, I don't know what you want to call them, group of bad ideas, have no connection to a real God, when they come out and said they found a God gene. I found a God gene. Really? Life isn't God. Humans aren't God. Never will be. And when man translates words that Jesus did say, it's horrible, because in those days there was very few words. And to rewrite them, to reword them, which the Bible was rewritten 3 times. But again, when a man writes something, it's a lie. Going back to whenever you want, the Anunnaki, which is the biggest thing in the in the UFO world right now. Zachariah Sitchin said the Anunnaki created us. They did not. And he has no proof, and he just reworded what he thinks they said. Uh, that was a long time ago. But the truth is, how did the humans actually get to planet Earth? Why are there four colors? And there are four. They breeding together, eventually we will be one. We will be one race. We will have genes of all the different tribes that exist. Did that mean there were never original tribes? Of course there was. And they were all brought here. We weren't hatched here. People, anything the government says is a lie. They have no proof beyond our solar system of anything. The black hole is a lie. The Big Bang Theory is a lie. All the things you program because they say so. I told you to jump off the bridge, would you? If President Trump said everybody has to jump off the bridge tomorrow, would they? Many of his clone zombies will. Oh, we have to jump off the bridge. Uh, these people that want to have guns voted for Trump. These people that think anything he said was true are in serious conditions because right now, every person seeing what he said was a lie. He is playing golf. He played golf maybe, 6 times since he was president. It cost us $26 million every time he goes to the golf course, and he can't play golf. People, are you really that screwed up to believe it's important that we pay for his golfing? And he's not a good golfer. He's not a pro. He's not anything. But people, someday, maybe before the planet's destroyed, you'll realize you followed the wrong teacher, master, leader, ruler. But here's the thing, people. When Putin is friends with Trump, you need to be worried. Putin is a massive killer. He's not a good person. Canada, on the other hand, wasn't a massive killing country. They were a friendly country. They let the people that dodged the draft and stuff come into their country. They protected people. I can go into stories what they did to the native people and stuff there. It's horrible. Our government went into their country. They said, well, we're not going to be responsible for anything that happens to your people. But they arrested 16 native people, accusing them of drug trade with the reservation in the Four Corners and things like that. But people, the lies you don't hear are true. The truth that you think you hear are the lies. You don't have to believe me. You'll see it. You'll see it every single day now. Watch what's happening. The protests. Do you see it everywhere on the news? There was 4 million people that protested, that we protested that day, 2 days ago, around the United States and around the world. Other countries are up and up. When president comes out and says something, it's a lie. When he says we made more jobs than ever, a lie. When he says, okay, well, anything he says about people, population, jobs are lies. And one car company laid off 900 people. I mean, all the people laid off. Creating more jobs? What? Picking their nose? What jobs did they get? What jobs are they doing? When you go on a march, when you go on a protest, talk to people there. Lots of them have families that are already being infected greatly. The government people should not be paid forever. Why? Are they better than us? Is anybody on this planet better than any other person? Yes, they got money. Money is the root of all evil. People, the richer you become, the more evil you become. I live with two. One was a billionaire family and one was two multiple millionaire families. And it was pretty sickening what I learned about them. I'm not going to go into details. If you want to hear stories, I can tell you great stories about the truth about rich people. All right. They don't care about the poor and the low middle class people. People that can't get food, people that can't get a home, people that can't support their children. While Musk is spending all kinds of money, he took money away from his ex-wife. I'm sure she's going to be happy with what she gets, but why? You'd rather spend it on a space program, going to Mars. His invention of his jet with weapons on it. How is it legal for a person to make a weapon that's the most dangerous weapon on the planet and he's not considered a terrorist? Does the United States use this jet and it's have all rights to it? The United States is releasing a spaceship for real people. It costs $44 billion under Biden, not under Trump. All right, it will be. You'll probably get to see it that Mr. Tesla created. He created 50 of the most deadliest weapons on the planet, which he gave to the United States. One of the most dangerous things is called the HAARP system, HAARP system. It's real. We have one in Hawaii, and there's one in Alaska, and there's two other ones. I'm not going to say where they are, but other countries are starting to get them because after Tesla was died, whether it was the real one or not. They built a museum for Tesla in his country, but a lot of I can go into details, which I'm not. I don't want to be shot tomorrow. I don't want to be taken off the air. Personally, get in touch with me if you want some real top secret information. I won't publicly put it out there because people don't care anyway. The underground cities, does anybody care? The weapons that the government's using? Well, getting back to that, one of the most dangerous weapons on the planet is a directed energy beam. And it's real, people. And it has to do with the fire in Hawaii. It has to do with the fire in California. It has to do with the fire in Oregon. They're using it, right? Inside the United States. So imagine what it will do. And people think the atom bomb is the most dangerous one. There's a proton bomb, neutron bomb, electron bomb. All right, and they each do different things. You want to destroy a city, you destroy the city. You want to destroy the people, you destroy the people. You want to destroy both, you destroy both. People, we're way beyond what you assume is truth, and you'll never know the truth of the government. I'll say this. I had a close person that was the top, it's not the top, but worked as a scientist in the U.S. government, in the Army. Well, the weapons they had then, and I'm talking during the Vietnam War, you know, they supposedly outlawed chemical weapons. You know what a chemical weapon is? A lot better than a regular bomb. Chemical weapon, and this is a fact. They have we call it a laser gun. They could blast the whole city, put them unconscious for 24 hours without killing them. War is not about saving people. You do understand that. It's about putting children on a battle line to get blasted away. And I can go into all the facts about that because I had a rich girlfriend who was in Vietnam, a nurse on the front line for 2 years until they made her go home, was cleaning children's bodies all day long and putting them in packages to send them back home. It's sick, people. 17-year-old kids know nothing. If you're going to put somebody in war, they should have picked an age between 24 and 34. People with intelligence, strength, and a lot more awareness of life and death. Not children still drinking, partying, doing drugs. I should know. When I was 17, I was trying to join the Army. I was not accepted. All right? I got discharged because I was sick. But I wanted to go in. My family was horrible. I wanted to get away from everything. But I met my first wife. It changed my life for a while. But during that time frame, children being put in the Army to kill people, you know, spiritually, killing is wrong. And it will destroy your spiritual awareness and what happens when you die. But and it's not up to anybody else other than you to stop it. Now, the people that left the war in the United States to go to Canada, draft dodgers, Canada accepted them. They were allowed back into the United States. Nobody has a right to make you kill somebody else. And one of the most important stories in the Army, there was one person who joined the Army and said he'll never carry a gun, and he never did. He was beat, and all kinds of things happened to him. But pull up his story. It's a real story. I think he ended up saving like 67 men in a battle, going across the battlefield and dragging the bodies back. Never carried a gun. People, killing is evil, wrong, whatever word you want to give it. No matter what the excuse is, having a gun is what creates a lot of the killing, including suicides. So, why do people want guns? Oh, in case the army or navy or government comes into my house, or somebody, we can blast them away. Really, if the government, FEMA, CIA, FBI comes to your house and they want you, no matter what kind of gun you have, you're going to be sitting there, either get shot or be just taken away. People, we don't have much time. He's only been in president for how many months, and he's destroyed the stock market. He's destroying our friendship with the. Do you realize what he's doing to other countries? They're protesting. You don't see much news. Go on TV. If you don't have it, order Vice, VICE. They're the only channel that shows actual, real footage of real events happening. Drug dealers, you name it. Any kind of crime, any kind of unjust thing, they show it for real. It's uncensored. They show you what they're doing to the native people. They show you everything, including the UFO world. People, you need to find the truth. Now, Fox News, and I can prove my cousin, I watch Fox News. Well, everybody on Fox News has to say what Trump says that tells them to say. People, you're being pulled into a world that's going down. The earth might go down completely, and I'm serious about that. Do you understand how many underground cities there are in the United States? This isn't delusional, people. All right? And each one of them has roughly about 10,000 people in them already. Jesse Ventura was the first person to expose them. But a lot of little things came out more and more over the years. They're real. All right? And the New World Order has a home base in the United States. It's up in the Ozarks. For real. It's bigger than the White House. It's got a 8 foot wall around it. And there's guards walking around it. People, you don't hear a lot of the truth. And you believe all the lies. I mean, if you make it a lie, people will like it. Because lies usually fit what people feel and think. Right or wrong. Usually wrong. Death. How many people understand anything about death? Well, Jesus taught about it. But they couldn't understand it. People, this is important for all people, whether you're religious or not. Jesus did not come here to create a religion. First off, he didn't come here to save your sorry ass. He did not. The people around him helped kill him. He was teaching about a real God. Not a man-made one, not a storybook God, a real God. Remember, the Romans had multiple gods. The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians all had multiple gods. He was teaching about a single God, which means the real God. And there is only one. Deities were considered gods to the first religion on the planet, which was Hinduism. They were powerful. Read the definition of God in the Bible. Powerful. So when the aliens come here, they were accepted as gods. Deities were here for a long time. But if you follow Hinduism, basically it was based on sex. Everything. And then when I guess deities left, aliens came down to pretend they were gods, of which they know little about. And they're not more spiritual in any way, people. The human race is the most spiritual race in this reality, in this realm, this dimension, whatever words you want to use. Planet Earth. All right. We are the most spiritual, which could be 1,000 times greater if we actually were friends with each other, which we're not. So we have a truth, but we don't use it, don't look for it, and don't find it. We accept the lies and create a truth from that, making Jesus into a lot of other things. People, I don't know how many people even understand reincarnation, believe it, or accept it. It is real. It is being proven more and more every year. Well, I'm going to tell you straight out, and this isn't delusional, illusionary fantasy. I'm aware of all my past lives. Back to Atlantis, when mankind was living in the Garden of Eden, all the way up to the point when they killed Jesus. Why? Why do you kill good people? Well, why in war don't they take out the leaders? If I was fighting with Russia, who would be the first person I'd want to take out? Putin. Not all the people have being forced to put a gun in their hand and go out and fight. If Putin was attacking the United States, he could have blew up the UN when everybody was in there and taken out the whole Congress. But they don't. They don't take out leaders. Leaders play chess with people. It's a game to them. They don't care about people. It's about a game, strategy. Well, my strategy is better than yours. But again, in chess, you might have to take out the pawns to get to the king. But it's so easy to take out the king easily today. If you want. And why don't they? People, you're put in a situation, you believe the fake idea of what a constitution is, which is all lies. I mean, even what Jefferson tried to do and tried to create was all taken away. You don't even have the right to protect your own house, your own space. The native people that own planet United States don't have it, don't own it, don't have the rights on it. People, you're living in a world being controlled by fools. And guess what else is controlling this world? You might not like the word aliens. Aliens have been here, always have been. They don't stay here. Most races cannot. But they do control humans. What do you think makes a person sick? A disease. And you know, the government creates 2 diseases for every 3 they get rid of. I get that backwards. They create 3 diseases for every 2 they get rid of. Sorry, that was backwards. So when they cure something, what do they actually cure? Hepatitis? When they create a cure, what did it cost for the pills for that? $70,000 for 3 months of pills? People, do you understand how the world works, why it works the way it does? Because nobody's walking in any kind of a spiritual path. Priests, ministers, rabbis, the Pope, the Dalai Lama, all of them fit into a programmed idea of what they want people to believe. Now, go back to who created the Bible. 16 people. All right? And you know one of the main people. But they took all the parts of it. There was 40 books and they created 4. When they created the Bible, they wanted to control mankind. And they picked the most controlling ideas to put in there to feed to the human race. They found Mary Magdalene's manuscripts later. They found, I'm trying to think about, lots of the people in the Bible. They're actual written, that wasn't written by them. Most of those people couldn't even write, but documents of different people's history. The person that turned Jesus in. Now his document was found twice. One of them was obviously fake. The other one was in bits and pieces. But a multimillionaire bought them and had those pieces put together. Now, he was not an evil person, even though the Bible makes him that way. He did what God told Jesus told him to do. Jesus had to die, people. He didn't have to die. He had psychic abilities that nobody else on this planet had. 32 of them, for exact. He didn't use them all. He didn't have to. He didn't want to. He had to die. His teachings were about life after death. Not about saving your sorry ass, not about being protected, not about any of those things. It was about soul, the inside eternal you that's using a fake body. What happens when the body dies? He was teaching that. And the only way he could prove what he was teaching is by dying. You can't talk about something you can't prove. You can, but it doesn't mean anything to anybody because they don't believe it or see it. When they all his disciples said, man, that was fun while it lasted when Jesus was being killed. And when he was killed, they were all walking away. If it wasn't for Mary Magdalene, it would have ended right there. She had to finish teaching them, people. Mary Magdalene wasn't all those words they gave to her for a long time because men hated women. Always did. Still do. But in that time frame, Mary Magdalene had to finish teaching them. Which they did. But all the disciples except two, Mary Magdalene and Thomas, were the only two people that escaped the country before they were killed. Alright? Mary Magdalene went to India. Thomas went to India. Mary Magdalene went to France. But she started teaching there. But she had the Knights of Templar protecting her, working with her for a period of time. And it was her daughter that they actually started working with because she didn't live forever. But today, the Knights of Templar, to me, I was thinking about becoming one, but it's all about money to them as well. They talk about peace and love and all that. That's bull. Earth is not peace and love. It never was. Never will be. This is hell. This is where Jesus had to face Satan. Alright, this is where Satan dwells. God allows it for a reason. I have an ex-friend that said, well, Jesus is going to come down and kill Lucifer. Well, Lucifer isn't here. And there's no possible way anybody can kill Lucifer. Jesus couldn't kill Satan. People, Jesus was not God. Never said he was. Ever. And the one phrase in the Bible that states it is twisted. Well, we all could say we're one with God. But do you know God? Do you know what God wants you to do or be? Of course not. Your limited brain perceives what it's programmed. Soul can understand a lot more if you rise to that level. But how do you rise to a level if you don't have any guidance? That's why they killed Jesus. Satan doesn't want people to leave planet Earth. And that's why you'll reincarnate many times before you ever decide to. And who do you think controls the energy in this reality right now? Satan has an army. It's not just one being going around person to person. It's accepting the darkness. And it comes into the subconscious mind. But that's not soul. Soul is not the subconscious mind. You can believe what you want, and you probably will. And you'll probably reincarnate another 10 times. Just because you're not ready for the truth. The truth hurts. If you think the truth is pleasurable, you better think again. The only truth that's beneficial and pleasurable is knowing that there is a real God. Without that, what is there? Universal energy, universal consciousness, Christ consciousness. If you didn't know Christ, how could you say Christ consciousness? People are delusional. Oh, how many people say they're aliens, were aliens and stuff? Well, you reincarnate over and over. Could have been one a long, long time ago in one of your first reincarnations into this realm. But people never even get that far in their life. The things that control mankind are five things. One religion, one path I was in said lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment. They sound like words. I put them into what they are. Drinking and smoking, drugs, sheep drills, sports, cheap sex. All those things are the only thing that keep mankind alive and happy. You took them all away, man wouldn't be happy in any way. It wouldn't desire to do anything. And believe it or not, when you let go of this body, it only gets better. And when you get higher than that, which very few people do, your sexual male-female disappears as well. So what you are is not male or female. God is not male or female. So when you say God male, God female, it's just a man's sick little program, not understanding anything, but understanding the abilities that we do have, and the ones that we can use in our own way. There's 32 psychic abilities. If you go online, you can pull up 134, 144, but it's throwing twigs and toothpicks and ashes in the fire and all these other things. They're not psychic abilities. Psychic ability means able to levitate something, able to see into a person and know everything they did in their whole life, being able to soul travel anywhere you want. There's a lot of things about them that are important, but when they're used here on planet Earth, they can't be in any great way, not anymore. And I dealt with maybe 200 psychics, the top in the United States and the world. And they're all full of it because they don't have the ability they say they have. Healers are liars. All right. I don't care what you believe. I'm not going to go into that, not in this show, but I'll do a show on that very soon. Psychics use your energy, not their own. If a healer claims to be a healer, you're wrong. Just do it. You don't need their permission. A psychic uses your. Psychic comes in your house and goes, I'm going to heal you. You have to say, oh, please heal me, and then give them your energy. You can't walk into your house and say, well, you're on crutches, I'm going to take them away, and do it. They can't. All right? Psychic ability is real, and they are, and you can use them. When I said I was a high priest for years. I went against the mob high priest. I went against a lot of people. God is the most powerful. No matter what you do, where you go, I'm sure if the government comes into my house and shoots me, that's it. But I don't care. I live life for what I can do, not what's going to happen or what did happen, any of that. I died 5 times. I know lots about death, the realms, different realms. I learned to travel I learned my astral body first, and then you learn about your soul body. The astral plane is where the astral body can go. It can't go beyond that. So when you grow in awareness, in spiritual awareness, you can go beyond that. But there's things you need to learn. There's gods, I call them little gods or deities, on every realm up into the 5th plane. And there's 5. Each one has 3 realms in each one of them. All right, the Earth has 3 realms, not just one. All right, but when you get to the 5th, you are pure soul. You have freedom to do and be almost anything, anywhere in your own created reality. All right, but you're already in a spiritual place, and you don't create evil, bad things. You don't need to or any of that. But what I will say this, it gets more incredible the further you go towards God. Not like, oh, I found the God you hear on planet Earth in hell. It can't vibrate here. It would destroy the planet. If God stepped on this planet, tomorrow the world would explode. That's why there's angels. That's why there were deities. And if you look at it, which I show, it's shown many different ways, but picture a light. Put a flashlight on and see that light coming down. Now put a line between the light beam. One's coming down and one's going up. So there's 2 energies you can get in, one going up and one coming down. Buddha found the middle path, the one that's in the middle that goes nowhere. You can stay in that and live within that forever. without any real awareness. Going back, you have to be aware. The higher you go in that being, the more aware you have to be. The one coming down is giving you the ability to rise. It's incredible, it's simple. But if you're looking at it, well, I got to do this and I blah, 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 you pull in all the programmed, sick ideas that you have that will get you nowhere. Having children, having 10 cars, 10 houses, 10 boats, has nothing to do with spiritual truth, has nothing to do with God, and it has nothing to do with you are at any level of your awareness. Now, when Trump gives a person on the street $1 million, sorry, no, let's start backwards. When Musk is on the street, sees a person, gives them $1 million to vote for Trump, illegal. But imagine what $1 million could do to a town. When he spent $21 billion on his spaceship. What that would do to part of a country. All right. Now the government spent $44 billion on a spaceship. Well, the government is into war. Trump should not be in that place. His thing has 2 weapons on it. All right. Anybody creating weapons should be under a government, period. And if they're not, they're a terrorist. His jet flies faster than any other jet on this planet right now. That's a criminal in my book. Unless he's directly inside the government and the government has it and has full rights over it. All right. He's talking about this and that. And he's wants to make people poor so he can sell them his modular home, which is going to be $8,000. All right. A little trailer home. All right. And everybody's supposed to be happy with that. His car is being attacked every which way. But China put out 2 Tesla cars. Do you know that? One is more money and one is less. The one that is less money is better than Trump's and Musk co-partnership car. All right. Now, something or it disappears. In Zimbabwe, Africa, there's a person that invented a car, a machine, a device that lets a car run on nothing. No gas, no water, no power supply. All right. It's in the car, and he's trying to produce the car now. It will be cheaper than any other car on the market, except for the taxes that they'll have to pay to get it into the United States. But here's the thing. It will change reality. He's trying to design that box so it can work and supply with a house. Realize this is for Africa, a country that need it desperately. That'll change reality for them and make them the richest country on the planet. Unless he was they've tried to assassinate him 3 times already. All right. The person that invented the device. He was a scientist, a black scientist, incredible. He was working on it all his life. So now the car, these pictures of the car, it's going to be a small car. Not going to look ugly, not going to look like a triangle piece of metal. But it will be the cheapest car. Well, what he wants, again, Tesla was destroyed. People that come out with, there was a company when I was little in Jersey called Better World Technologies. He created free energy, a device. All right. Well, look, I went pretty long, but until next time, peace, love, compassion. I hope you get something out of this. Send this link to everybody you know, please.